Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. And today I'm joined with my family. So we're going to be checking why is Poland so divided. I think we did some video back then, and they were talking about the right wing and the left wing,
Yes.
the whole division. And like I was kind of confused because I was thinking Poland is a country that they're actually together.
It's actually always the political parts that
Actually,
political things that bring division in the country.
so I just hope this video actually explains everything for us. Like, subscribe, share, and let's get right into it, guys.
There's a split between a wealthier West, nicknamed Poland A, and a less prosperous East, Poland B. In fact, it's so well known in Poland that people have a phrase for it, widać zabory, which means you can see the partitions. Nowhere is the difference more visible than in Poland's election maps. Election after election, a consistent pattern has emerged in which the main liberal pro-European party dominates the West, while the conservative Law and Justice Party holds strong in Poland's eastern regions, which continue to lag behind in a number of key economic metrics. So in this video, we're going to explain these persistent east-west differences and see whether these divisions have eroded away at all.
Oh, we just saw this man. This the man.
Donald Tusk.
Yeah, that is like, what was this ideology again? I can't remember. Let's continue.
Yeah. I have. But I cannot believe Poland is
Have you ever
divided.
wondered how much money
for real.
GDR makes each year, or who's funding our journalism? But we think that transparency is super important. So we answered both questions in our recent video. It's linked in the description. So to understand this divide, we need to start with a bit of a history lesson. Once part of the powerful Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, in the late 18th century, Poland essentially ceased to exist. Between 1772 and 1795, Poland was partitioned in 3 stages by its neighbours. The Kingdom of Russia took the western and northern territories, the Russian Empire annexed the eastern regions, and the Habsburg Empire claimed the southeastern lands. For a brief time, Poland was
That's a good
reconstituted
division.
as the Duchy of Warsaw, a Napoleonic client state, but this was short-lived. Then in 1815, the Congress of Vienna created Congress Poland, a constitutional monarchy in personal union with Russia, which over time tightened its control, suppressed any uprisings, and reduced Polish autonomy. Then, following World War I, Poland regained its independence in 1918. After several conflicts, most notably the Polish-Soviet War, Poland expanded eastwards, and after signing the 1921 Treaty of Riga, acquired significant territory known as the Kresy borderlands, which includes lands in present-day Western Ukraine, Belarus, and Lithuania. But once again, this new map didn't last long. In 1939, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, secretly agreeing to divide Poland between them. Germany then invaded from the west and the Soviets from the east, effectively annexing Poland from both sides. After World War II, Poland's borders were redrawn yet again, this time permanently. The Allies forced Poland to cede its eastern Kresy territories to the USSR. In exchange, Poland was given the former German territories in the west, and the southern East Prussia, home to large cities like Wrocław and Gdansk, effectively
Gdansk, I've heard that place a lot.
frontier. One of the major features of this territorial swap was one of the largest forced migrations in European history. Around 5 million ethnic Germans were expelled from the newly acquired Polish Western territory. Meanwhile, approximately 4.8
5 million people. That's a city.
Originally, that is a city.
No, originally I think that's a Polish territory that they lost the land so many times. So the Germans are kind of occupying it. So now they're reclaiming the land. They kind of like say, go back to where you're going back. Send them back. But 5 million of them. Imagine they didn't chase them out. That land will just be the land at that
forever.
Point.
Now people dominate.
Yeah, they'll be like, I believe it for you for since ages.
Currently, what's happening between,
They don't get back to that one.
million Poles were resettled in their place, most of them forcibly expelled from the eastern Kresy regions annexed by the USSR, as well as some from central Poland who voluntarily moved west seeking economic opportunities. While this process was deeply traumatic for both the Poles and the Germans, it was good for Poland economically speaking, as it inherited a more developed industrialized western region from Germany, which was home to major industrial cities and had already developed coal mines, steelworks, power plants, as well as a
Wait,
super dense
I
rim.
understand. Is this place for Germany or was it?
The idea is that the German
left.
Okay, they kind of developed the place.
Yes.
The place was already developed.
Developed.
So the new Polish occupants now they met a developed
The
place.
Germans won't be happy about this
At all.
at all. But and
But it's not
again,
your land to start with.
yeah, but again, to actually create opportunity for people actually going there.
And I'm guessing this place will be the west.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
the
actually, this is the west.
Yeah, this is the west.
This is the west.
This is the west to talk about in the beginning, and that's the east they migrated
Regions
from.
have remained largely agrarian and underdeveloped, having been neglected under decades of Russian imperial rule. For instance, there are higher concentrations of asbestos in the east, since most of the buildings in the east were built after World War II using cheaper materials, while the west has the older German-era buildings made with more durable construction. This created a clear economic divide, a wealthier industrialized Poland A in the west,
Exactly.
and a poorer
Come to think of
agrarian
it, the
Actually-
Polanders, they didn't actually
There.
do those things themselves.
So yeah,
So it would be bad for them to be faulting B for not being able to.
To build.
that
Yeah.
actually you have a point there because it's kind of with the help of
Yeah,
Germans.
yeah, they were able to, but B is just on their own.
Poland B in the east. Now, post-war communist central planning attempted to equalise regional development and to some extent succeeded, especially in reducing income inequalities. But the West retained a significant edge thanks to its industrial base and infrastructure. After communism collapsed in 1989, Poland's transition to a market economy more than doubled average income per capita. However, the East continued to lag behind. Fewer companies invest or trade real estate in the East, and consumer activity has long been stronger in the wealthier West. This is in part because the West has a more developed banking and credit system. Poles in Western regions are more likely to take on debt, and especially debt in foreign currencies. And while debt might not sound like a good thing, if it's not at dangerous levels, debt is generally taken as a sign of a well-developed economy with a functioning banking system. Income gaps persist too. A 2021 study found that between 2004 and 2016, the wealthier regions like Mazowiecki, home to Warsaw, and others in the West, became even richer compared to the national average in terms of GDP per capita. Meanwhile, poorer eastern and northeastern regions fell further behind.
Wow.
Today, 4 of Poland's
Poorer.
17 regions have a GDP per capita below 15,000 euros, 3 of them in the Far East, well below the national average of around 22,000 euros. While the average monthly gross salary in these eastern regions is around 2,000 zloty lower than the national average. In fact, a handful of poorer rural eastern regions have lost more than a tenth of their population since 2011, as young people move west in search of better economic opportunities.
You know, the greener
reinforcing
pasture.
the idea of a two-speed Poland, divided starkly among former colonial lines. The East-West divide in Poland isn't just economic, it's also cultural. The East remains traditional and conservative, while the West leans more socially liberal. For example, in Western
It's always
regions,
like that.
the share of self-declared Catholics has dropped sharply in the last decade. One reason may be that because much of the West was repopulated after World War II, meaning communities with fewer deep local roots and weaker social ties were created, there's often less community participation, including in church life. This cultural contrast is reflected in the politics too. While the West often supports liberal, pro-European policies, parts of the Southeast have declared themselves LGBTQ-free zones, aligning closely with the socially conservative Law and Justice Party and its strong ties to the Catholic Church, whose endorsed presidential candidate won this May's election, achieving his best results in the poorer southeastern regions. That said, perhaps we are oversimplifying things a bit. And it may not be as simple as wealthy West and struggling East anymore. For example, EU investment, particularly through the Cohesion Fund, has greatly improved infrastructure. Modern highways and rail now link the two halves of the country far better than before. In fact, there's significant variation within the regions themselves, and inequality is obviously not just limited to an east-west axis. For instance, suburbs near major cities have seen significant population growth, pointing to a trend of suburbanization and a deepening rural-urban divide across the country. Nonetheless, while Poland's divide may have eroded slightly over time and new patterns emerged, divisions still clearly exist, not just on the economic front, but also politically and culturally too. Everything we've discussed in today's video plays into a broader sense of uncertainty in the world at the moment. And who's so often at the middle of all of that? Well, the United States. So in the next issue of our magazine, Too Long, we're discussing this geopolitical shift and whether we're currently observing the end of the American order. In that section, we discuss everything from the collapse of democratic norms in the US, to the decline of American soft power, to issues with the US economy, or the battle for universities, before discussing who could potentially take over in a post-American world. So if you want to find out what we really think, now's your chance. It's not just the US though. This issue is our longest ever at 78 pages, full of our very best journalism and analysis. So we also get into why Germany's military might is growing, if Farage could become the UK's next Prime Minister, why countries are outsourcing their...
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't expecting the difference to be this big. It's more like political, cultural, and ethical at this point.
The difference is just in every aspect of life.
But one thing I observe is that in every country it's always like that.
Yeah.
There will always be that divide between the rich and the poor. It's always you. The Bible even said the poor you always have with you. So there's no how development will come into this world that will not still have.
But my only ick about it is the fact that the West wasn't all built
Exactly.
by them.
And most of the people on the West, actually, they came from the East.
And then when you get to the West,
So-
When you get to
They
the
are
West,
always
it's not
from
like
the
and
East.
they are
Like,
just
you guys
thrown in
are
the East.
always from the East.
Because
So now you like kind of forget where you came from and start bearing a new identity, a new code.
sorry, what I was saying, they leave their village, come to the city, and then they're now like looking at the
Village like, yeah.
So that is like
Pretending as if
that's the vibe I look at from this video, because like actually most of them literally came from the East, because they came to the East to the West. Sorry, when the German fled. So all of a sudden now we're not okay.
They're all tush.
All to
Exactly.
until today, people from East to go to the
West.
West and give them time, they'll still start talking bad or
About
like
the East.
calling them poor and
But you know something? What if a very big industry comes to the east and then, real estate? Most people are going to real estate. They go to
I don't think it's real estate can develop it. I think industry
industry.
that will bring employment
I know
and people start
when
coming back.
development gets to a particular side of the country, they just focus on that part and forget the other
Yeah.
parts.
other parts.
And that's one of the problems.
Problem. So please tell us what you think about this video in the comment section. Like actually it's a big shock to all of us. So tell us how you guys kind of experience it in the country, because this is like a video. Tell us how it is firsthand there in the comment section. Thanks for watching with us. Like, subscribe, share, and I hope to see you in my next video. Stay safe and bye.